Customizing LEGO clone troopers has been a popular part of this community for years. I think my first attempt at making some was well over 11 years ago at this point. Now, the way people have been customizing their clones has evolved so much over time, from being simple paint jobs and using Sharpie to really detailed paintwork, using decals, or even some custom prints at this point. Now, while making super detailed figures is great and fun, some of my buddies and I thought it would be a really fun idea to return back to the days of making custom clones in the classic LEGO style, with simple paint jobs that matched the way LEGO would be making their clones back in the early 2000s and matched the simple way that clone customizing started. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of classic-style custom clones that were made by a bunch of other people from Instagram, as well as a few made by me. The figure that really started it all was this Captain Rex, made by ComicCustoms. This was the first figure that I saw done in the classic style in a long time, and it kind of seems like it's what prompted everyone else to make clones in the same vein recently. Now, the visor on this guy was filled in shape to Rex's unique visor shape, and the paint job is simple, yet fits the classic LEGO style perfectly with the painted pauldron, the weld marks, J-guys, and so on. To keep up with the 501st, here are two figures that I made, ARC Troopers Echo and Fives. Now, since these guys are ARC Troopers, I gave them the special treatment of having official LEGO waist capes and pauldrons with, just simple paint jobs on them, or else, I feel like they'd look like they're missing something. They're ARC Troopers, they're supposed to be a little bulky, so I had to include these, even though these two pieces in general don't really fit that classic LEGO look. I feel like they had to have them somehow. They also have the fins on the helmets that were cut off of Phase 1 Trooper helmets and glued on, as well as unique paint jobs on their helmets. On the torsos, you can see the ARC Trooper armor plates painted on and some blue deco for Fives and a LEGO hand on the chest for Echo. And both are armed with those classic megaphone blasters. Next up is a Commander Cody made by DaLastPrime. This guy has a painted helmet where the paint job actually only goes halfway, since LEGO's prints back then could only really reach that far, and a Clone Army Customs visor. He also has a painted torso with the orange stripes, the Marshal badge, the abs section, and the belt, and then, of course, one painted stripe on the leg. Overall, this guy fits the bill of a classic Commander Cody very well, and it makes me kind of mad that we haven't actually gotten an official Phase 2 Cody minifigure yet. Here we have Commander Bly that was made by TheMooseFigs. Dylan went the same route as me and decided to use some cloth goods for Bly, which I do really think look pretty good. He used a 327th Star Corps Trooper as the base and added on some yellow to the belt and some dark yellow or brown for the stripe. The helmet paint is also really nice with the two colors, which do wrap around the whole helmet. And he also drilled some holes in the helmet and used some Aerolite macro binoculars to complete Bly's look. Next up is another figure by ComicCustoms, Clone Commando Gregor. This is the only Phase 1 or Commando type trooper in this lineup of figures, since those classic Phase 1 clones from 2002 are getting harder to come by, but Dalton did a really good job on this figure. That fin was shaved off and finally sanded down, so it looks just completely seamless. The paintwork was also done very nicely with the yellow, and then he also used a light blue head to simulate the blue tone of the Commando visor. One of my favorite parts of this figure is that he removed some of the torso printing and repainted it to match the Commando's chest armor while still keeping that classic style, and I absolutely love that. Here's a classic Captain Fordo made by delta.png. The paintwork on this figure is simple yet sharp. I think the only thing he actually painted on this was the gray belt and the strap. Then he also used a printed Aerolite helmet, but this figure still does the job. Next up, we have Commander Wolffe, which was made by NonFigs, which was another one of those classic clones that was made fairly early on. He used an Aerolite helmet as well, but I think he painted all of Wolffe's deco using a bluish gray, and also stopped the paintwork halfway on the helmet, which is a nice touch, and also painted the torso and the arms to match. Now we actually have another Commander Wolffe to show you, so I'm going to turn things over to my buddy Will, or the Wolffe of LEGO, to go over that.
So I'm not going to explain what this is because Aaron's probably already explained it, but hello, I'm the Wolffe of LEGO, and today I'll be submitting my clip for Aaron's new podcast, Tuggin' Studs. The name was created by TheMooseFigs, that's why it fucking sucks, so complain to him and not me. So here's my classic style Commander Wolffe. Painted the arms gray with Model Master's gunship gray, painted the back a little bit, kind of skimped out on the detail, kind of half-assed that like somebody. Painted on the top of the torso, he's got the hairdryer blaster, and then I had the sculpt on the helmet with some Procreate to make it look more like Wolffe's Recon helmet, and then I painted that up, and yeah, so I did it so it looks like LEGO's limited printing back from like 2005 if they were to make this figure. But yeah, thanks for making this before me and NonFigs. fucking jackass.
Alrighty, now we have Commander Thorn, made by TLG Customs. I absolutely love the paintwork on the helmet on this guy. I think it's super clean and is some of Kyle's best work yet. He also has a black Clone Army Customs visor, a shock trooper body with the badge painted on, and one of those classic brick-built miniguns. Next is Commander Doom by TimCan2904. Tim painted up the helmet on this guy and used an Aerolite visor rather than a Clone Army Customs visor, probably because it's more nostalgic to the days of clone customizing back 10 years ago, since that's the only visor we really had. The torso is actually a decal designed by Tim himself, which looks great, and he used some green and gray body parts to finish this guy's look. And the last figure we have is a 332nd Trooper by Sockuraye. This is one of the early classic figures I saw a couple months ago, so I knew I had to include this in this video, and I think he did a great job with the paint on this guy. The orange and the white on the helmet is super clean, and the blue on the torso is simple, yet it gets the job done. And that is all I have to show you guys in this video. If this video gets a decent amount of interest or inspires some more people to make some classic clone figures and wants them to be featured in a video, then I might make a follow-up to this, but I guess we'll see. Thanks again to everyone who let me include their work in this video. All of their links can be found in the description, so you guys can check out their work there. I would encourage you guys to do so. They all make just some great stuff, so please go ahead and check them out. Also, in other news, I am almost done with my Clone Wars Part 2 figures. Just got to finish up Palpatine, and then the video will be started right after that, so that will be out soon. Anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.